Let me tell you about the most expensive lie in personal finance. It's not a scam. Nobody's trying to steal from you. It's actually something most people just believe without ever questioning it. And the lie is this: I'll start investing when I have more money. Maybe you've said it, maybe you've thought it, and I get it. It sounds responsible. It sounds like you're being careful. What it's actually doing is costing you every single month that you wait. Today, we're going to kill that myth completely. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a simple 3-step framework that you can do right now, regardless of where you're starting. I'm Ken Erdman, financial planner based here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and I work with people who are serious about their financial life, wherever they're starting from. This channel is built for you. Let's get into it. Here's why this myth is so sticky. For a long time, it was actually kind of true. 20, 30 years ago, brokerage accounts had minimums. Mutual funds required $1, $2, $3, sometimes $10,000 to get started. If you didn't have that, the door was literally closed. But that world doesn't exist anymore. Thanks to some really incredible people who invented things like fractional shares and commission-free trading, or index funds with zero or very low minimums, that infrastructure barrier is gone. You can open an account and buy a diversified position in the US stock market today with literally $1. So why are smart, driven people still waiting? Because that barrier was never really about the money. It's about permission. It's about feeling like you're ready. It's about waiting for that until that moment feels right, until you've paid off that loan, got that raise, finished whatever workout program you're doing right now, or moved into that new house, right? But here's the problem with waiting for the right moment. There really isn't one. There's only now and there's later. And later costs you something that you can never get back, and that's time. So I'm going to show you two people, right? Same age, same income, same goal, right? To retire comfortably at the age 65. Right? Person A starts investing $200 a month at age 25. That's it, $200. It's less than most people's car payment. Mine right now is about $348 a month right now. Still not bad, right? Person B waits. Life gets in the way. They start at age 35 instead, right? 10 years later. However, they do $400 a month in contributions. That's twice as much contributions, right? Who ends up with more money at the age 65? Person A, actually by a lot, right? So here's the math for it, right? Person A invests $200 a month for 40 years, assuming, let's use a 7% average annual return. They contribute $96,000 of their own money. They end up with roughly $525,000. Person B, investing $400 a month over 30 years, double the monthly amount, contributes about $144,000 of their own money. They end up with about $454,000. Person A invested less, contributed less, and won by $70,000. That's not a trick, that's compound interest. And the only ingredient it requires is the one thing it can't work without, and that's time. Okay? Now I know what you're thinking. Ken, I'm already 35 or 40, have I missed the boat? No, you have not. Right? The second best time to plant the tree is today. The math still works in your favor, it just works even better the sooner you start. Which means the answer is always the same. Start now and with whatever you have. All right, so now you're convinced. You want to start investing, but what do you actually do, right? I'm going to give you a simple 3-step framework. It's not complicated. The financial industry makes it feel complicated because complexity justifies fees. And the reality is that your first moves are pretty straightforward. Step 1 is taking that free money first. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not contributing enough to get the full match, stop everything and fix that first. A 50% or 100% match is an instant return on money that no investment in the world can beat. That's your starting line. Now, I know not everyone has access to an employer match or an employer plan, right? Self-employed folks, contractors, small business owners, all have different vehicles, and that's a whole different conversation entirely that we'll cover in a separate video. But if you have access to a match, use it. Every single dollar you leave on the table is a dollar that you're giving back, right? Step 2 is building your emergency fund before you invest beyond the match. 3 to 6 months of expenses is a great starting point in cash. I want to use a high-yield savings account. Rates have been extremely favorable lately, and it's worth shopping around, right? That isn't investing, it's protection, right? Because the biggest investment mistake people can make isn't picking the wrong stock. It's being forced to sell at a wrong time because they needed the money, right? You cannot invest with confidence when you're one emergency away from a crisis. The emergency fund is what lets everything else work. Step 3 is opening a Roth IRA, investing in a boring single index fund, whether that's a mutual fund or an ETF. If you're under the income limit, a Roth IRA is one of the most powerful accounts in the tax code to utilize. You contribute after-tax dollars, and every dollar of growth coming out is tax-free in retirement. The contribution limit for these Roth IRAs is $7,500 in 2026. That's $625 a month. If you can max it out, great. If you can only do $50 or $100 a month right now, do that. You can always increase those contributions in your savings rate later on, but you cannot go back and invest in years that you missed. And the fund? Start with a simple total market index fund. One fund. There are several good options available through any major brokerage that are low cost, broadly diversified, and have no complexity required. You own a tiny piece of the entire US stock market and just let it grow. That's it. Now, those 3 steps are simply your foundation. And for some of you, working through those steps on your own is exactly the right move. And that's genuinely okay. But here's what I want you to understand. The foundation is just the beginning. Once you're past the basics, the questions get more complex. You're going to start asking yourself, how much are you actually on track to have at retirement? And is that number tied to a life that you've actually designed and want? Are you paying more in taxes than you need to? Or if something happened to you tomorrow, are the people and the things you care about protected? Does your investment strategy actually connect to your goals, or is it just a simple collection of accounts, right? That's where working with someone comes in. Whether that's a full financial plan or simply having a disciplined investment strategy built around your goals, and that's what I do. You don't need to have it all figured out before we talk. Most people, in fact, most people don't. In fact, you just need to be serious about getting there, right? And I just want to mention something here. Because I talk to a lot of people who feel behind. Maybe life got in the way. There's debt you're worried about, a career change, a tough stretch financially. But nobody ever taught you about this stuff growing up. And that's, maybe you just kept putting it off, right? And that's okay. That's not failure. That's just simply a late start. And late starts have solutions. The answer isn't to feel bad about the past. It's to start right now with whatever you have and build from there. I've seen people start with $25 a month and build real momentum and real change, right? The amount matters less than the habit and the intentionality behind the plan to get there, right? All right, let me wrap this up. Again, you don't need a lot of money to start investing. You never did, right? What you do need is a clear understanding of the order of operations. Match first, emergency fund second, consider a Roth IRA third, right? And then the fourth is the willingness to start before you actually feel ready. But here's the thing about feeling ready. It's a moving target. There is always a reason to wait, always another loan to pay off, another milestone to hit, or maybe just another quarter to get through, right? The people who build real wealth aren't the ones who waited until they felt ready. They're the ones who just simply started anyway. Right? Good enough never is. Start now. If any of this resonated, if you've been putting this off, or you want a real plan behind the decisions you're making, feel free to reach out to me. I work with people at every stage of their financial journey, and I'm always happy to have a conversation. There's a link to schedule a call in the description. However, if you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep making content like this. No fluff, no generic advice, just real planning conversations that people can have, and for people who are serious about their financial life. I'll see you in the next one.